All right, so this is a suggestion via Discord. The name of the video is Why Did Sailors Starve Instead of Catching Fish in the Ocean? It's actually a great question. This is coming from the channel Fun Paper Airplanes. All right, let's check it out.
The ocean, as we know, teems with fish and other marine life. According to scientists, it has the potential to sustain humanity for hundreds, if not thousands, of years. Yet, in adventure novels about daring seafarers crossing seas and oceans, even circumnavigating the globe, we often read about sailors who faced starvation.
Right.
They were forced to eat their boots, suffered from scurvy, and endured other hardships. But why? All they needed to do, it seems, was cast a fishing line and catch enough fish for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
To be honest, I mean that's like the most logical thing. Like, bro, you have fish all around you. I mean, unless the fish are running from the boats, that could be a thing also. That's number one. Maybe it was like gout. They were fully aware that maybe you shouldn't eat too much of something. Potentially, I don't know. But to be honest, the question is valid. It's an incredibly valid question.
Let's explore why this wasn't so simple. During the
Okay.
age of exploration, the times of Ferdinand Magellan, Christopher Columbus, and Vasco da Gama,
Right.
sailors' logs often mentioned a peculiar phenomenon. They described abundant catches of fish, only to find them inedible. For example, Antonio Pigafetta, Magellan's cartographer, wrote in his journal about catching a lot of fish that were later thrown overboard. The same logs mention the death of about 40 crew members. Sailors were puzzled by these unfamiliar fish, but even familiar species sometimes turned out to be deadly. Who would expect that eating an ordinary sea bass or tuna could be fatal? A common belief held that only herbivorous fish could be poisonous, while predators were safe to eat. But this assumption hid a dangerous truth. Any fish could be lethally toxic. Sailors
Explain.
tried various methods to ensure their catch was safe. The devout Spaniards sprinkled holy water on the fish, hoping it would protect them.
That wasn't gonna
They
work, bro.
placed silver coins or crosses on the catch. If the silver tarnished, the fish was discarded. Freshly caught fish were left on the deck. If flies landed on it, it was deemed edible. If not, the entire catch, no matter how plentiful, was thrown overboard.
So yeah, that definitely seems like a lot of superstition, and this basically ended the lives of many, many, many people. Now, I guess that never thought about that specific thing. Like, what if um, you're just catching a whole lot of poisonous fish? I never thought about that in my life, guys. And also at the same time, I never understood why they didn't do it. So keep that in mind. I never actually sat and actually thought about why and how, But either way,
Even as far back as the 7th century BCE, Chinese doctors documented mysterious deaths following the consumption of certain fish. It wasn't until 1866 that Cuban physician Felipe Poe identified the cause, ciguatera poisoning. This illness
Okay.
occurs when humans eat fish or shellfish contaminated with ciguatoxins, poisonous compounds produced by certain plankton species. For marine life, these toxins are harmless. However, fish that consume the plankton accumulate the toxins in their bodies. Predatory fish like grouper, barracuda, and moray eels, which eat smaller fish, become carriers of even higher toxin levels. The older the
Noted.
fish, the more toxins it accumulates. The most troubling aspect is that cooking doesn't neutralize the toxin. Symptoms of ciguatera poisoning can appear within an hour: abdominal pain, vomiting, diarrhea, and in severe cases, respiratory failure or cardiovascular
oh my
issues.
God.
Without
Listen. You guys send me these videos, and if you guys have been following along, you kind of know how I am. I think, hopefully. All right, I am pretty much a germaphobe. I'm not really a fan of like all this other craziness neither. Like, just understand what you're doing to me. All right, I get it. I'm fat. Maybe you're doing this because I'm fat, and then you're telling me that maybe you should slow down on eating a little bit. I'd rather you just write that in the comments than send me this and make me never want to eat fish again in my life. I'm gonna be honest. This is just you to me and you right now, guys. All right? Is that why you did this? Is that why you sent this video to me? I mean, I respect it. I respect it slightly, but it affects me negatively, guys. I like fish a lot. You can't cook it. Like, if you cook it, it's still not going away. You're just still plagued with it. Well, that's rough, bro. That's rough.
timely medical intervention, death can occur. There is no specific antidote, so treatment involves managing the symptoms, similar to other forms of poisoning. During World War II, ciguatera reemerged as American soldiers reported fish poisoning incidents in the Pacific. Modern studies confirm about 50,000 cases of ciguatera poisoning annually, though the actual number could be much higher due to
Okay.
underreporting.
Right.
Individual reactions to the toxin vary widely. Another reason for sailors' starvation lies in the ocean's uneven distribution of life. While some areas are teeming with fish, others are
Others have
biological
none.
deserts.
Yeah.
These oligotrophic regions, such as the centers of subtropical gyres at 30 to 40 degrees latitude, lack the nutrients needed to sustain large populations of marine life. This scarcity is due to atmospheric conditions. In these latitudes, winds transition from westerlies to easterly trade winds, creating near windless zones. Historical accounts of Atlantic trade routes between Africa and North America often mention the doldrums, where weak winds left ships adrift for days. Sailors in these regions frequently resorted to eating their horses or other livestock due to food shortages. The lack of wind also prevents nutrient-rich deep water.
I mean, I will say though, I mean, I get it. United States of America is basically one of these places that really just do not consume horse. But bro, I get it, right? Beast of burden type of thing, but they're actually delicious. Sorry to let you guys know.
Due to food shortages. The lack of wind also prevents nutrient-rich deep waters from mixing with surface waters. In most of the ocean, biologically available nitrogen and phosphorus come from the deep. When strong winds or storms disrupt the water column, these nutrients rise to the surface, fueling plankton blooms. Without these processes, nutrient levels remain critically low, suppressing phytoplankton growth, the foundation of the marine food chain. Satellite images of ocean color reveal these dead zones as regions with minimal chlorophyll concentrations, represented in dark purple tones. This low primary productivity cascades through the food web, leaving little marine life for human consumption. These biological deserts existed long before the age of exploration and persist today, shaped by large-scale atmospheric circulation patterns. Magellan's route around the globe highlights this issue. His expedition spent significant time crossing the South Pacific Gyre, a region of nearly zero productivity, according to satellite data. Here, weak winds and sparse marine life combined to create a deadly trap. Ships drifted in windless expanses, surrounded by an ocean incapable of sustaining them. The twin challenges of toxic fish and biological deserts explain why sailors often face starvation despite being surrounded by water. Understanding these phenomena not only sheds light on historical maritime hardships, but also highlights the intricate balance of oceanic ecosystems that continues to affect us today. Also,
all right, guys. Yeah, I would have never honestly even sat and kind of mathed that out. I mean, I figured that obviously there would be places in the sea where fish are just not as plentiful as they are in other places, obviously, right? But never actually realizing that fish were poisonous, because this is probably something I would have never looked up, because why? I like fish a lot, guys, right? So it makes me moderately weary to know that there's actually, I can get, oh, guys, I eat fish. I don't like this. Guys, please don't send me things about food. All right, it stresses me out more than other things do. Right? But I think the explanation here was very good. I think that this was also very well researched, guys. And again, really quickly, name of the channel is Fun Paper Airplanes, guys. It seems to be a very new channel here on YouTube. So if this is your type of thing, go check them out, guys. Right. But in the meantime, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Enjoy your day thoroughly.